once more welcome to your favorite show, Shantia's Haven. On Shantia's Haven, we talk about the family. Everything that has to do with the family. The good, the bad, the ugly, depending on you, what you define as good, bad, or ugly. Today we have part 2 of what we were talking about the last time, divorce in families. We've treated a lot of things about divorce in the last episode, so if you haven't watched it, maybe you want to go there and check out. So today we want to find out about the effects of this divorce on some certain people in the society. We still have our guest with us, B. Mande Basami. Welcome again to Shantia's Haven.
Thank you so much for having me, Shantia. It's a singular honor and pleasure, and sharing this wealth of experience with our viewers, you know, with people that are going through stuff in their relationships. I mean, it's such an honor for me. I'm so humbled and I'm really happy to be here.
Wow, it's a privilege for us, you know, and we love your vibe.
Ah, that's I'm a party popper.
Talking about divorce, divorce comes with its own effects.
Yeah.
We want to find out what are some of these effects and which people are affected in the divorce.
Yeah.
I know that the process itself, it has something to do with the immediate people in the family. As the two people first,
the couple involved,
then the children involved, and then
the family,
and the society, or those who were looking up to that couple.
Right.
So you may want to just brief us a little bit about these effects on the different people.
How do I even start? For every cause, there is a consequence. For every reason, you know, there must be an explanation. I mean, divorce is one of those things that cannot be overemphasized. It's a heartbreaking situation. Nobody gets into a relationship planning to leave. But when push comes to shove, man's got to do what a man's got to do. You know, so and this doesn't come without consequences. Just like you mentioned, it starts with these people, and then with the people directly involved, and then the whole world at large. Let me first let me start with the people involved. My mom used to say, I'll quote my mom because she's all I got, and she told me the most I know. She used to say, there's a very thin line between love and hate. She always said that. Right from when we were babies, and we kept like thin line between love and hate. Which that one concern who has sex now? Who is loving who and hating who? So, you know, but later on when we grew up and we became, you know, young girls, we started dating boys, and they started breaking our hearts. We now started finding reason to hate them, because sometimes you love somebody so much that you can't believe that they're gone, that they're leaving, and that's where hate comes in. Because honestly, that line is so thin. Like, you are with somebody and this person is your everything, and then all of a sudden that person is no longer there. Means you got nothing, and now you have to now start looking for another everything. Start trying to find new essence, new you know, you're treating your person inside, and then you're trying to relate with the world outside. It's crazy. For married like unmarried people, be you a fiance, be you in a courtship, I don't know how to, you know, differentiate all of those things, but every relationship, it's always not the best feeling when you separate from each other. And so the first thing that steps in is like doubt. Did they really ever love me? What was their mission? Okay, I married this man, he didn't have a lot of money. I have worked with him, we have built wealth for ourselves. And all of a sudden, that money is to now feed other girls outside while I go hungry. Did he get married to me just because he was poor and I was ready to accept him? Did she get married to me just because I'm rich and I have everything and now she's found a richer man? Doubt.
Doubt, yeah.
And when that doubt comes, if there is nothing to counteract it, that's what starts building hate, spite. So I was used. He stole my youth. She stole my wealth. My life was going. I wanted to even marry this other girl that was from my village. She pretended that she was a good person. He pretended that he loved me and he would die. And you know, and now you start, you know what is going on at that moment, that immediate moment, is not, it's not you intentionally trying to hate that person. Yeah. It's you trying to find reason why you got to that place where you are. And mind you, the reason, if you're looking into those reasons, there's hardly ever anybody who is looking for a good reason. Because at that point in time, it's sagat. I just want to get out. Let her just go and leave me alone. Let him just go and leave me alone. At that point, that is what it is. And so you start feeding yourself with stories that will suit what you're feeling inside. At that point, it's sagat. Everybody is trying to pin you down. Find that reason why you did that thing. It was because you wanted to cause pain. It was because you didn't want them anymore. You wanted now this new woman or that new man. And all those things are just feeding the reasons that would, you know, the things that would drive you apart. Why? Because at that point, you're not looking for reason to stay. You're looking for reason to leave. And so you're looking for all the reasons, all the things that can make you feel comfortable about leaving. That's the first thing that happens to these two people. And when you're already at that stage, your mind is blocked. Whatever who is saying don't matter anymore. You know. And that's why we will tend to misinterpret love for hate. Even from the people that truly care about us. When they want to say, oh no, why don't you look at it this way? Don't you think that? Don't you think that? It was like, you people don't know him. And that's one thing that people say in relationships. These days, I laugh so loud. You don't know nobody. Like a man that you've been married to for 20 years and you feel that you've mastered his shoe size, tie size, sock size, haircut, and everything, will remove one cut tomorrow like that. You go like, what the? You know, and you thought you knew that person. Just to say that we really don't know people. You can't know people because this is what I say, and this is what I used to tell my ex-husband. Every situation X will produce a reaction Y. Because, like I said before, it's cause effect. You're a father of one today. You're all over this one baby. Life is beautiful. You have a good home going on. Baby number 2 comes. You're no longer a father of one. So you are definitely not the same man. Yes. You're a father of 2. Your reaction as daddy will change. Your reaction as daddy for 3 will change. Your reaction as daddy, you're a rich man today, tomorrow, you're a poor man today, tomorrow you're a rich man. You're jobless today, tomorrow you have a job. Your wife is jobless today, tomorrow she has a job. You married her, she didn't have a lot of friends, tomorrow she has. Every situation causes a new thing to be birthed in a man. Every new situation. Something new was born in a man once there is any change. And that is the most constant thing. We know that. It's change. So how well can you really know anybody? Yeah. And that's what, you know, pushes these changes between a couple. And then you go now. Oh my God. The people I feel sorry the most for are the children.
The children.
Shansia.
The children.
It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic because we get so selfish. We get so selfish. We're only thinking about ourselves. Oh, this man. Whether picking at the chopper, or house girl don't mix now, which one? Oh, is this man, this woman, this man. And we completely forget this innocent people that find themselves right in the middle of our chaos. It gets so selfish. And so these children suffer a pain that Oh my God. It's so sad, but it's so real. And a lot of times people will just say, oh, when the elephants are fighting, the grass and the crickets are the ones that suffer. And you do not know the extent of that statement. It's bad. It's so bad. When I got married, my ex-husband was married before, and he had 2 kids. First wife passed, God bless her soul, and I took these young boys like my babies. I used to call them baby number 1 and number 2. And when I had my 2 girls, they were baby number 3 and number 4, babies number 3 and number 4. So I have 4 kids. Why? Because these kids did not deserve to lose their mom. They didn't do anything wrong. Right. And everybody is not B. But if there is one thing, they say don't sing your praise. I will sing this praise, my sister, and pull my shoulder up. I took care of those boys. I took them with my whole heart. I nurtured them. I taught them good manners. I brought them up like my own. And it took 8 years for those children to know that I didn't birth them from my womb. Oh. 8 years. And how did they even get to know? Their cousin insulted them. Like, you people are talking about that woman and praising her like that. She's not even your mother. I remember that night, Shansi, those children, for those of us who know what Bamenda is, those children trekked from Tarinkun to Ndamukon Street. Wow. To look for me. It's the most traumatizing night I've ever had to spend. I wasn't home when they got to my house. My neighbor called me that there's some kids in front of your house. And I rushed back home and I met them with their small bag. And they be like, they were crying. And I'm like, what is it? And then the older one says, Mommy, our cousin, I don't want to call the name, insulted us that you're not our mother. I said, is that why you're crying? They say yes. I said, really? They say yes. And this is what I did that healed them. I said, get up. They get up. I don't know why I did that. I'm crazy sometimes, but I said, get up. They got up. I said, pick that bag. They picked the bag. These babies they were about 13, 12, 13, 11, 12-ish. You know, that early teens. And yeah, they're about. And they got up. And I said, you can go. The shock on their faces, they were looking at me. I said, you can go. I was with my sister. And she too turned and looked at me. And I said, somebody told you that your mother is dead. You decided to hold a funeral for me before my time. Am I dead? They stood and they would look at me and I said, no more. I said, so which mother are they talking about? Do I look dead to you? They said, no, Mom. I said, am I your mother? They say, yes, Mom. I said, clean your eyes. Immediately clean your eyes. They cleaned their eyes. And I pulled them to myself and I told them, and I am your mother. The one that you came out of may not be here, but I am here. Whatever happens, come to me. You need a mama to whoop somebody's ass, come to me. You know that I'm well capable of the job. No matter where you go, if you need me, call me. I will stand for you any day, anytime. I don't care what your dad thinks. I don't care what the society thinks. You are my babies. Shansia, that was it.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow.
Till today, those children, you would not take them. I don't want to tell you the things they have gone through because they tried to associate with me. They were driven out of their house. They were beaten countless times. One time I had to take them to the police. I have gone to social welfare, gone to state council over children. They keep running. They kept running from their dad, running from their dad and coming to me. And, you know, when my marriage got turbulent, my girls were still very young. So they didn't get to experience much. So at that early stage, it was more of the boys.
Yeah.
I saw them breaking day by day, and it broke my heart. But we were too busy fighting each other to look back at those children. And the people that wanted to say, oh, can you people not look at those children? You know, I turn to look back at the children, and then I see their dad bringing me police case of kidnap. That I kidnapped his children because the children ran and came to me. You know, you see, this is how crazy divorce gets, right? This is how crazy some of those things get. Now, when my babies, my own girls, because finally, when I divorced came through, I was granted custody for the girls. I couldn't claim the boys because we never followed any legal adoption procedure, so I couldn't claim them or anything like that. But you know, they're still a part of my life up to date. And you know, here I am now with 2 girls, and I'm sorry, but their dad says he wants me to suffer with them, so that the whole world will know that he was the one doing everything for me. Like, that's how bad it gets. That you will choose to punish your kids so that the woman can suffer. He's not the devil. He's not. I probably did things to him so that when he tells the story from his own angle, people will look at me like a witch. You know? But that is how divorce is. It gets messy. And these children are in the middle of it. They can't call daddy because you're not going to touch mommy's phone to call daddy. If daddy wants to talk to you, he has my number, let him call you. And daddy is not going to call because why is he calling that girl's phone? You know. And so the children get starved. The typical thing to happen in a divorce is that the kids are starved of one parent. There's no way.
So how do we fix this? How do we help these kids in the situation?
Shanti, it's difficult, but it's possible.
Okay.
And that comes with a lot of maturity and a sense of responsibility.
Okay.
From both parents. To be able to come to the point, now I know that there's some very bad divorces or some very bad relationships that it comes to a point where you guys can't even talk together. And that's why I talk to a lot of people that are going through pain and you know, bad situations in their homes, and I tell them, no matter what you guys are going through, because you have children, don't let it escalate to a level where you can talk to each other. Try not to let it escalate to a place where you cannot talk to each other. It is very dangerous because that will be the ultimate barrier break for the kids, where they find themselves in a place where they can't come up to mom or dad and say, I want to talk to mom or dad. You have conveniently and selfishly slashed them away from this other. And mind you, every kid needs a father and a mother. Now, I've raised these girls for as long as I've raised them. I know what I'm talking about. You see, sometimes we women, we play tough and all of that, and we come out and we go like, oh, I'm the mom, I'm the mom and the dad. And, it's even worse with the men when they're the ones doing it. Hey, I am the mother and the father. They have cute Goliath. You know. And that's a very good thing. I commend every man that is doing that. It's an amazing thing. But this is the thing. There are some times where I see my girls and I know that at this point, it is a dad they need. It's not a mom. No matter which fast I try to put on, no matter what I try to say at that moment, all of it, of course, it will boost their morals, will make them feel better. But I know that that longing at that time was for daddy. Yeah. Watch them. If you're going through that kind of thing, watch them. Bring your male friends around. Bring your female friends around. And watch your kids. You will know their real desires. You will know what is deep down inside. They cannot say it, but you just find out that your babies get clingy to any man that you bring around. They want them to be close. They want them. It's daddy's place. They're looking for daddy. Oh, daddy, how is that your friend? How is that auntie? How is that? Innocent question. They're looking for mommy. And you're starving them intentionally Why? Because we have decided to remain babies in adult bodies and selfish and all. I mean, the kids suffer, Shansia. The kids suffer. Everybody will tell you.
Okay, so now,
yeah,
if you're divorced, how do you process this information to your kids?
A very, like, I think that out of 10 divorces, 8 couples fail there.
Okay.
We are so busy getting divorced, we don't know that other people are involved. Like we're saying, you know, this is you and I, our babies and us. There is family. Everybody is, oh, now your family, now that get there for that family way, boy there for that family way. You know, all of that is going on. The church is saying its own. Society is saying its own, and you're so busy with the noise and chaos, you forget that you owe these children, and I mean what I say. You owe them. Like you owe them an explanation.
Yes.
You have to tell them. You have to sit them down and explain to them. And this is something that my mom always did, and we always ask ourselves, like, why is this woman telling us our relationship issues? Because she would sit us down sometimes with babies. Because our dad left us when we were very young. And she would sit us down sometimes and she says, I know that you will not understand what I'm saying, but when you come of age, you will understand. And then she'll say what she has to say. And it's only later on when we grew up that we realized that that woman was dying with information in her stomach and she did not even know which well to go and start at and just shout inside. She was dying inside. More so because she didn't have too many sisters. I didn't see her grow up with too many friends, you know. And, you know, she would tell us those things. And that's the one thing that helped me with my children. Now, this is my case. I'm not saying that I did it so well or I did it perfectly. But the one thing I tried to do, Shansia, and God help me, was that I tried as much as possible not to paint a bad image of their father in their minds. And unfortunately, that's the first thing that people who are separated do. Because we want to gain the favor of the kids and look like the better parent, we now bash the other parent. Oh, your father did this. Can you imagine your mother did this? And we call babies with their innocence and free, pure minds and feed them with so much trash. And then tomorrow when they come out to be crazy people in the society, you start asking how did they get there? Oh, you fed them. You fed them that diet. You grew them like that. You groomed them to be those people. You know. And I tried not to do that. But of course, there's so many days when I cried. There's so many days when I was bitter. There's so many days when I was angry. Sometimes I'll have some loud conversations with other people and they'll hear a thing or two. And so they were not really ignorant completely of what was going on. And so I realized at some point that I needed to start talking to them. I understand that Daddy is not here. It's not his fault that he cannot be here. So at some point, adults disagree. Doesn't mean that I hate him. Doesn't mean that you should hate him. I'm angry. And he's angry as well. And sometimes when you're angry, you don't even want to talk to the person you're angry at. Am I lying? And they'll answer me, no, Mom. And sometimes you get mad at your sister, don't you? And you come and report to me and you don't even want to talk to her. It happens even with adults. But it doesn't mean that, you know, we are now enemies. And that's what we should try to push through. That the fact that you're going through a relationship crisis doesn't make you enemies. For the sake of these kids, you owe them that explanation. And especially when it comes to a place where it is finally over. My dear brother, like sister, take those babies, sit them down, talk to them like you're talking to adults, because believe you me, the things my kids remember today, I am shocked. They will quote me. And I'm like, how do you even remember these things? I don't even remember them. He said, Mommy, you told us. And I know I told them. And they have come of age. And now they play those things back in their memories. And they know exactly what I was talking about. The beautiful thing is that they have beautiful, amazing hearts. No hate, no bitterness towards their dad and all of that. And that is my joy. That's where I say I succeeded. But a lot of us are negligent. I don't know if their father ever sat them down to tell them that, okay, I'm not with your mom. but it doesn't mean that I can't talk to you or I hate her or anything, just to give them that psychological balance. But I did that. And a lot of couples fail to do that. Why? Because they don't think that the children will understand. Tell them for nothing. Like, just sit them down and tell them, mommy and daddy are going through a difficult time. You might not see daddy as often, you might not see mommy as often, but you'll get to spend this time with them. Or maybe you, for those of us that have restrictions, maybe you will not even see them, you only get to talk to them on the phone. But doesn't mean that your daddy loves you any less. Doesn't mean that your mommy loves you any less. We're just going through a very difficult time, but things will be okay soon. And when you come of age, you can create your own bond with mommy or with daddy.